Hello, Yawning Angel here with another AMOS video, and in this video we're going to look at how you can select a font from a file requester for use within your AMOS programs. Please note, we will be making use of the AMCAF extension in order to get this functionality to work, because... So some time ago at an Amiga meet, I was asked by someone if I knew if it was possible to select a font from a file requester from within an AMOS program. The person asking me had tried to do this themselves, and while they could get the fonts to list, it was not possible to be able to select a font and have that load into your program for use within that program. Useful if you wanted your user to be able to select a different font to use within that program, maybe? So finally, sometime later, I had a go at doing this. And guess what? While you can have AMOS show you all the fonts it has available to it within a file requester, you can't actually select a specific font and have that load into your AMOS program. It's not possible. But now with the AMCAF extension, this process is made easier. And in this video, I'm going to show you the functionality I've employed in order to get this process working. But as already mentioned, please note you will need the AMCAF extension installed in order to get this functionality working. There's a link up here to my previous video where I covered the AMCAF install process, so check it out. Hello, future Yawning Angel here. Just wanted to say, watch the video to the end because there's a bit of a preview of some future AMOS stuff coming up, which is kind of interesting. So, without further ado, and you know how this works, let's grab a brew and dive on into the code. Okay, here we are then in front of some AMOS code, and we've got our cup of tea this morning. It's in the Snorkers mug again because it's a good mug. That's a good cup of tea as well. Yep, I need that this morning. Right, so let me just say a couple of things first about fonts in AMOS. So before anyone asks, yes, AMOS does allow you to see and access all the fonts on your Amiga. That's not a problem. You can show these fonts in a file requester, and we'll see that happening in a minute. But you cannot select one font at random. The only way I can see to select a font is to read through the list of fonts, kind of using the get fonts command. And then from that, you'll get access to the font number for each font. And then you use that font number to assign that font for use in your program. But if you select a font from a file requester, it does not return the font number, which is not ideal. And this is kind of a bit frustrating, and this is where our problem comes in. So I've come up with a solution to load the font by using the AMCAF extension, and I'm going to show you how all that works right now. Just to remind you that you will be able to download the source code for this program for free from my website. There'll be a link in the description down below. Here we are in the code then. So I have made a bit of a shell of a program, which I'm going to take you through, and I'm going to take you through this process, what we're going to do. So effectively, what this program will do, it's going to open a screen. It's going to pop up a file requester, which is pointing to our fonts. It's going to allow us to select a font, and then from the font we select, it's going to extract the name of that font. And this is the key thing, the name of the font, not the font number, because we can't get that. It's going to extract the name and then use the AMCAF extension, change font, to load that font in and display it at the bottom of the screen, about midway. It's a bit janky, but the mechanics are sound, and you'll see how it all works. So at the moment, this program, it's like I said, it's just a shell, and that's all we're seeing on the screen. So let's dive in, and I'll take you through it. So first of all, we're going to open our screen. Then we're going to set our paper color. We've got a global variable called fstring, There's a little quick and dirty routine in here for showing the colours. So this has nothing to do with the fonts, but I kind of like having this in a program because when I'm trying to work out what colour do I want to display the background or what colour do I want for the ink, it lists all the colours. So this is a procedure. I'll just uncomment that. If I dive to the bottom of the program, we've got that procedure here. So what colours? It literally just loops through the colours 0 to 15 because I've got 16 colours to find on this screen and just dumps them out. So if I were to run that now, so we'll see here, there's our colour palette shown, as it were. So once again, this is not relevant to the program. It's just a nice to have if you want to select your colours. So that's why I've got that commented out for now, but I'll leave it in. So our main program loop, it's a do loop. And what we're going to do is select the font by using the file selector, and we'll have a procedure in for that. And I've got some comments in here because I built this program out of frustration, basically, because I couldn't select the font as I wanted to, just using normal AMOS Pro commands. So how do we get the actual font that was selected? So what we actually do is extract the name of the font. So when we return the font we've selected, it's got the whole file path in there, and we just want to extract out the name. So we're going to do some file manipulation here. We're going to do some extraction. We're going to work out what part of the string we want to extract to get the name. And so I've got these comments in here. I might take these out, but we'll see. So AMOS Pro needs the number of the font we wish to use so it can be loaded before we can make use of it in the text command. We need to use the set font command to load the font, and the set font syntax is set the font number. And we use the text command syntax to position the text that we want to show. This will all become clear as we write the code. So basically, what we're going to do is, I've got some interesting comments in here. Look at that face palm, because I couldn't believe how AMOS did not do something so simple. What were they thinking? So use the AMCAF extension to the rescue. We're going to prep the screen for text display. We're going to set some ink colors. We're going to use the AMCAF command change font, which is quite simply change font, and then the font name, which we're going to extract, and the size of the font we want to show. And then we're just going to dump it on the screen. We've then got this loop here, which just allows us to try again, or go again rather, or quit the program. And that's really it. It's really quite straightforward. So enough talking, Keith. Let's get on with writing the code. So main loop, let's go then. So we've got a procedure called font selector, which is quite obviously called font selector. And down the bottom here, I've got that procedure. And it's just really simple. Basically, font selector string, I'm pointing it to the location of my fonts, which in this case is dh0 fonts /, and I'm telling it to only show files with the .font extension. And that's all that does. So that's my font selector. And then I'm going to show what we've actually returned. So let's do locate 0,3. I'm going to do a clear line, because when we loop the program, you'll need to remove this line. Locate 0,3, and then I'm going to do print. This is the font you have chosen, and $. Right. Okay, quickly save that. So we'd run the program, and what it's going to do is going to pop up a file requester. Now, something you need to be aware of here. The names here with the stars next to them, those are actually font directories, and we don't want those. What you're looking for is you need to choose files with the actual .font extension on them. So here's our fonts, basically. So if I selected, say, Diamond, and click OK, we should see, there we go. This is the font that you have selected, and it shows the entire file path here, dh0 : font / diamond.font. And what we need to do is extract the name diamond.font, and we're going to do that next. Right, so here we are back in it. Before I continue, I just wanted to say that Our neighbours are having some building work done today, which is nice. So there's lots of banging and drilling going on next door. So I apologise if you hear any strange noises in the background. Anyway, right, there's never an ideal time, is there? Okay, so what we're going to do then, we would have selected our font. Now we've got that long string, okay, so now we're going to start to extract it. So the first thing we're going to do is get the length of the string that we've extracted. So I've got a variable, we're going to ls equals len f dollar. Oh, no. So that will give us the length of the file selected string. Then we're going to have a variable sls equal instr f dollar, comma, Right. What's this doing, Yawning Angel? Okay, so we've got the length of the string. Now we need to find the first occurrence of the slash, the forward slash. Now, this is, like I said, this is a bit janky, and this kind of works for me because I know I've only got one slash in there. We're using the instra command, and what that does, we give it a string and tell it the string, or the character within that string that we're looking for, and that returns the position of that, in this case, the slash. So we've got that now. Pass some information back to the screen so the user knows what's going on. Obviously, when you come to do your program, you don't have to do this, but this is just to explain the process and show you the mechanics of it working. So we are going to do locate 0,5 print found at stud SLS, and then locate 0,7 print. Probably should have done this first. Length of string is, and that should be ls. ls. Okay. So that will start to interrogate the string and prep it so we can then extract the file name. So let me just save that and run this quickly, make sure it's all working. Here's my file selector. I'm going to select the diamond font. So here we go. So it's returned, that's my path. So it found the slash at position 10. The length of the string is 22 characters. Right, happy days. That bit of code is working. Now let me go back up here. Right, we've got that. Now what we need to do is I need to tidy this code up. Now we need to take everything after the forward slash to the end of the string. So to do this, another variable, ltt equals ls minus sls rem. This gives the length of the string to cut for our use. Once again, you don't have to put these comments in. This is just to explain what the code is doing. So what this is doing, basically, it's going to give us a length. So we know the full length of the string and we know the position of the slash. And what we want to do is subtract those two, and that will give us the length of our actual, our font. So, diamond.font, that will give us that string. It will give us the position we need to kind of start from. And what we're going to do then, we're going to set a new variable, nfs dollar. We're going to use the write command, or the write string command, and we're going to pass it the full f string, and the start position to do the cut is going to be ltt. Does this make sense? And I've got a type mismatch error, nfs string equals write string. Of course, that's f4, that needs to be f. There we go. That's why we validate the code. So what we're saying is, we're setting a new variable, nfs dollar, or nfs string, and we're going to use the write string command and say to it, well, take this string, f dollar, f string, and from position ltt, I want you to cut, I want you to select everything to the right of that, okay? And then we're going to prove that that works, but we're going to do a locate 0,9. We're going to do a C line. This is just future proofing. Locate 0,9, and then we're going to do print. This is the font string. And that will be What would it be, Yawning Angel? NFS dollar. Do that. Save that. Now I'm going to run it. So let's select our font. So let's go with Emerald font. I click OK, and bang, this is it. This is what it's done. So there's our full path. We know that the / was found at position 10. The length of the string is 22 characters. And what it's done here, it's actually extracted emerald.font from that full path name, which is pretty cool. So now we have the font name, which is exactly what we want for the AMCAF instruction to load that font. And that's coming up right now. Back in the code then, I'm leaving all that commentary in there because basically I had a world of pain trying to get this to work. So those comments in there are testament to my pain and frustration. Right, what we're going to do now is prepare our screen for the text display. Now, let's do this. So what I'm going to do is clear a section of the screen. So I'm going to do CLS. I'm looking off to the right because I've got the finished code sitting here. And I can't talk and think at the same time because I'm a guy and of an age where I forget things. Right, so this is this command here, CLS. So CLS, so that's our color. And we're going to take an area of the screen, 0, 110 to 640, 200, and we're just going to have that. Now, I've chosen just a grey colour because grey is quite neutral. But this is just, once again, to show you the functionality. You will do something different in your own programs. So let's do that. Then what we've got to do, oh, there's an ink command. I found this only recently, and this blew my mind. This is standard AMOS stuff. So we're going to use ink 2,7 for displaying this font. So usually ink would be obviously the ink color, and then we'd usually do a paper color as well. But ink 2,7, what this does, it sets two colors. So the first number 2, is our text color, and the second color is our paper color. How mad is that? I didn't know this existed. I just stumbled across this by accident. So that will give us, our text will be in white, and it will do the background in gray automatically. That is so cool. That's why we like AMOS. Right, so now the magic. Well, first of all, let's save that and let's run this. So let me select a font. I'm going to go with Emerald. And so here we are. So now we've got this gray area here where we can now display our font. So let's do this. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? We're going to use the AMCAF command, change font. And the syntax for this is really simple. Change font, give it the font name, and give it the size you want the font to be. It is that easy. So here we go then. We're going to use change font, NFS $20. NFS $ is the name of our font because that's what we extracted from that path name, and we're giving it a size 20 because it's a nice size to see on a screen. Obviously you notice I set this as a high res display. Your mileage may vary depending on what resolution you want to go with. There we go, look at that. So that's done our basically that's it. We're done. We can go home. Everybody go home now. We're done. No, only joking. Let's put some text up, shall we? So we're going to use the text command. Standard AMOS text command here. And of course this is a graphic command, so we give it graphic coordinates, text 10,135. And here's my string, hello, new font, comma. And I'm going to just display the name of the font in the font that we've selected because I couldn't think of anything else. So this needs to be plus NFS $ plus, there we go. So with the text command, so if you were doing a print command, you'd do your semicolon and then put your variable and then another semicolon and then another bit of text to print. But with the text command, we don't. So it's just basically in quotes, you put the string you want to show, and then you close your quotes, then you do a plus, and then any variable, and then you'll do another plus afterwards for any other text. Yeah, no, semantics. And that's it. That's all this does. So I'm going to run this now. Let's go. So let's choose our Emerald font. Bang, there it is. Look at that. Hello, new font, Emerald font. So that has used the AMCAF change font command, and it's changed the font for use in our text command. Press C to go again. So let's choose another font. Let's scroll down. Let's try Sapphire. Click OK. There it is. Look at that. That looks so cool. That is really nice. Once again, different screen resolutions. Your mileage may vary. But, you know, we've selected the Sapphire font. It's extracted the Sapphire font name and it's set it using that change font command in AMCAF, in the AMCAF extension, and just displayed it. Let's choose another font. Let's go with Times. Yeah, not as good. Let's try something else. I don't know. What shall we go with? Let's try Ruby. Yeah, there we go. So there you go. This just shows you the mechanics of that command are working, and it's pretty cool. It works. So happy days. So I wanted to explain a couple of things just to make some things clear. Where we use the change font, the font is then recognized by the text command. The text command is an AMOS Pro command. It can be found on page 110103 of the AMOS manual, the AMOS Pro manual that is. And basically it displays a graphical font. So this is treating these as graphical fonts now. This will not change the font for your print commands. So you will need to use the text command, not the print command, in order to see this font in effect. And the text command basically is X and Y coordinates, as we've done here, and then the string that you want to display. Other things to take note of, if you're interested, page 110102 on the AMOS Pro manual about fonts. It explains there about getting fonts. You can get disk fonts or get ROM fonts. You can get your fonts, you can loop through them, and then you can set the font. So the way you would normally do this in AMOS without the AMCAF extension, you would use the set font command, but you've got to give it a font number, which is kind of frustrating. So you can't get that, as I already said, you can't get that font number from the file requester, which is kind of frustrating. So really the only bit of AMCAF that we are using at this point is that amazing change font command. And do you know what? I'm really pleased. That works really well. It's just bang, so easy, off it goes. That's not a great font to display, but you know what I mean? You get the idea. So that's it really. Get your file string, extract the name of your font, use the change font command, and then use the text font to display it. Happy days, all good, nice one. So a little heads up on a project that I'm working on, a little pet project which is a bit of fun, and also some viewer contribution material as well, which is really cool. You don't want to miss out on this. And that is it for another video. Thank you ever so much for watching. I really hope you've got something out of this. Don't forget that the source code for this program is available to download for free from my website. There's a link here and there'll be a link in the description down below. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my channel. Of course, if you get something out of the program code that I create for these videos, please consider donating to my Ko-fi account. There's a link up here and there'll be a link in the description down below. Of course, you don't have to, but I'd like to give a huge thank you to everyone who has so far. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you once again for watching. Whatever you do, until the next time, look after yourselves and keep it retro.